Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, 50 Shades of Black and White, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles with borderline personality disorder. I talk a lot about narcissism. I talk about schizophrenia, bipolar, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety attacks, and a plethora of other mental health issues. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology. So I just want you to know I'm like a life coach, someone, who's gone through a lot and wants to share and help people with my own personal experiences. But in no way am I a professional. Now, the only thing I ask of you is please be kind to everyone in the comments. Be kind to me, be kind to other people commenting, and be kind to yourself. We can disagree, that's fine, but we need to have respect and kindness. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe, it's for free. Now, today's video, I'm going to talk about how to love someone who is raised by a narcissistic parent. Now, in other videos, I told you, I was raised by a very abusive narcissistic mother. You can go catch up in those other videos if you haven't already. I don't really want to go into detail about the abuse because that's not what this video is about. But if you haven't, if you're new and you haven't caught up, think about Google Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest. There's a movie called Mommy Dearest, and Joan Crawford played the mother. Not Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford played the mother. Who did she play? The mother. She had an adopted. No. It was Joan Crawford. I don't know who played her. I forget the actress who played Joan Crawford, about her parenting skills as a mother for her adoptive daughter, Christina. Right. She was portraying Joan Crawford. I forget the actress who played Joan Crawford. Sorry, I got that messed up. But if you Google Mommy Dearest Joan Crawford, that is the epitome of what my mother was when I was growing up. Now, I can tell you, because I was raised by a narcissistic parent, how it is to love a narcissistic person who is raised by a narcissistic parent. I can tell you from my own personal experiences. So, what I needed in a relationship, the only man who met those needs was my husband, Andrew. I've known Andrew since I was 18 years old. You can catch up on the other videos. In fact, I've done a video with my husband. And it, go through the old videos and it will be there, me and my husband, where I interview my husband. What it's like to be married to someone who has borderline personality disorder. I met him at 18. I'm 58 years old. That's 40 years. 40 years I've been with him. And he's the only person who's been able to love me. I'm a very, very difficult person to love because I was raised by a narcissistic mother who is extremely abusive, not just physically beating me, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, calling me stupid. I can't do this, I can't do that. I've mentioned this in several other videos, but this video isn't going to concentrate on the abuse. This video is going to concentrate on the result of her abuse on me, how I turned out, and what I need from a love from my partner. So, because I was raised with so much criticism, all right, and so much insecurity, and so much instability from a narcissistic mother, I'm going to need them 100 times 100, No, 1,000, no, 1,000,000 No, a billion times a billion. I'm going to need that in my partner. And the only one who met those needs were my husband. So in other words, everything that I lacked in my childhood, which is instead of criticism, I need lots and lots of praise. Instead of inconsistency, I need consistency. Instead of, insecurity, I need everything like a million times. So this can be very wearing on a person, on your average person that is not used to someone who has so many needs. Because I was raised with a narcissistic mother, I don't trust people, okay? I have a deep fear of abandonment, and that goes along with borderline personality disorder. I don't trust people, and I have a very deep fear of abandonment. And in the beginning of my relationship with my husband, I made him jump many, many loops. I tested him over and over and over again. I tested him to see, is he worthy? Can I trust him? Can I put my faith in him? And he had to prove himself to me time and time again in the relationship. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you, if you fall in love with someone who is raised by a narcissistic parent, you've got to have a lot of patience. You have to have a ton of patience, all right? You have to be a very secure person yourself. If you don't have a ton of patience, or you're not a secure person yourself, it's never going to work out. Now, first of all, you have to realize that you can never fix anybody. It's not your job to fix the person you love, no matter what background that person comes from. I want you to understand this. Get this. It is never your job to fix them, okay? So don't even try. Don't even try to fix them. It's not your job, and you can't. You can't fix them. So if you find yourself loving someone like that, you need to give them a lot of assurance, okay? They need to be reassured much more than the average person would need to be reassured. So it's going to be a lot out of you to do that because, they grew up with such an abusive parents that they're going to need to be reassured much more than your average person who was raised by two healthy parents. So you need to be calm, very calm. If you're not calm, it's never going to work out. You need to be calm. You need to hold to boundaries. Consistency. You need to be consistent with the person. It doesn't mean you let the person walk all over you. You need to set the boundaries in the beginning of the relationship. You need to be the calm, steady, secure person. If you're not that person, you will never get along with someone raised by a narcissistic parent. It'll never work out. My husband was raised by two loving parents, okay? His mother was very calm, a very loving mother. So when he came to the relationship, he was coming from a healthy core. He was very low-key. He was very calm. He could reassure me over and over and over again throughout our whole marriage. He could stay calm. He could be consistent. He could set boundaries with me. And he had a lot of patience with me. You have to have a lot of patience. You have to be in a good place yourself. If you're not in a good place yourself, it's not going to work, okay? It's like putting two toddlers together and expecting them to get along every day, all night, every day, it's not going to work, because someone like me is looking to be reparented. Now, you cannot reparent the person that you love, okay? You cannot be their parent, but you can be parent-like. See, there's a difference. You cannot reparent the person who was raised by a narcissistic mother, but you can be parent-like. And how do you be parent-like? You be consistent. You set boundaries with the person. You be calm and steady. You be reassuring. You be like you have all the characteristics of a good, loving parent, but you're not trying to parent the person that you love, because you can't do it. You can't go back and try to make up for all the years of abuse that the narcissistic parent did to the person you love, whether it's a woman or a man, either one. You can't make up for it. All you can do going forward is show them. There's a saying, lead by example. Okay? Lead by example. So if you want, you can't ever change someone, but by the way your behavior can set a good example for someone. Like, for instance, if my husband needed to lose 20 pounds, instead of me forcing him on a diet, saying, you're fat, you need to, that's criticism, you need to lose weight, look at your clothes don't fit you, you have a big belly, it's not healthy, blah, 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 you're not attractive anymore. I can, serve nutritional food, not have any sweets in the house, only eat fruits and vegetables. And, it's worked with my husband. So I'm leading by example. I'm not saying anything about his weight. I'm only, serving healthy dinners. I'm only having fruits and vegetables in the house. I'm not buying cookies and chips and anything like that. And he's seeing me eat healthy. He's seeing me exercise. So I'm leading by example. And that's the best way, if you want to, help someone, is to lead by example. Show them, by doing it yourself, instead of trying to, nag them. And no one likes a nag. Just, show them how you live your life. Live your life, and then people will follow. You see what I'm saying? If you live your life well, if you exercise, if you eat healthy, people will see this and they'll follow. Lead by example. That's how you can help someone, okay? Not by nagging them, not by criticizing them, by, eating healthy. Like, if he says to me, oh, do you want a piece of cake? I say, no, I'm cutting back on sweets, So he sees that. I mean, children especially are extremely impressionable. That is tenfold with children. Lead by example. They'll see. If they see how you respond. If you respond to your spouse by screaming and swearing and criticizing, that's what they're going to learn. To swear, scream, and criticize. If they see you hitting your spouse when you're upset, your spouse hitting you, that's what they're going to learn. That's what you do when you're angry at someone. To resolve it, you have to slap them. But if they see you sitting down and talking maturely and trying to work that out, that's what they'll see. And that's how they'll follow. They'll follow what they see. Lead by example. So if you're with someone who's had a narcissistic parent and upbringing, then that's what you need to do. You need to lead by example. And you need to be consistent. And it's really not for everyone. But you know what? We can't always help who we fall in love with, right? We just can't pick, well, I'm not going to fall in love. I'm not going to fall in love with this. You fall in love with a person. Falling in love isn't isn't something that, you necessarily choose. I mean, you can choose whether you want to have a relationship with that person, but you can't choose your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel intensely, about someone and decide that person is not right for me. That person is going to harm me. Now, I can't change the way I feel about that person, right? Just like but I can choose my actions. You can't choose your feelings, but you can choose your actions. Like, I can walk by a bakery and see a delicious cheesecake, right? Chocolate cheesecake or caramel, you know, sauce and the works, right? Whipped cream or whatever. And like the Cheesecake Factory. How many people love the Cheesecake Factory? I mean, they got something for everyone in the Cheesecake Factory, right? Cheesecake in every flavor imaginable. Now, I can walk by the window and say, oh my God, I really want that. Oh man, that s'mores one or that pumpkin. I love pumpkin. That pumpkin one or that strawberry one, whatever you love. Like, oh, I want it. I can't change the fact that, that I love cheesecake, that I really want that cheesecake. But I can control my actions. I can say, even though I love that cheesecake, I'm not going to, get a piece. I need to lose weight. The cheesecake is extremely fattening. Diabetes runs in my family and it's very high in sugar. And I'm going to choose not to eat it. I'm going to go home and have an apple instead. See, I can choose my actions. I can't, but I can't choose my feelings. I'm never going to talk myself out of wanting that cheesecake. It's not going to work. I'll want it even the more. If you try to talk yourself out from something that you really want, it's going to backfire. It's never going to work, okay? You got to be honest with yourself. You got to say, hey, look, I love this person. I want this person, but this person is no good for me, So you can take action and decide not to be with that person because it's only going to be ruinous for you. But you can't control your feelings. Trying to talk yourself out of saying, I don't really like that person, that's not going to work. So be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, let me tell you something. You'll never be honest with anyone else. You must be honest with yourself, okay? But you can control your actions. So this is what, I'll just tell you how my husband is with me. He's very consistent. He's very secure. He's very trustworthy. You really need to be a person who's, walks the talk, okay? Walks the talk. Say what you mean and mean what you say with someone who's had that kind of background. You have to be, I said, very trustworthy, very consistent, because I never was raised, with anything like that. I never was raised with consistency or trust, very calm, very reassuring, maybe, a little more reassuring than an average person would be in a relationship, And that's what my husband was to me. He was everything that my mother wasn't. He was, he supported me in everything I did. Even when I was doing my karaoke, never once did my husband say, you can't sing. Like the last video I did, never once. He always was supportive. Anything I chose, unlike my mother who said, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, My husband was the exact opposite. He was very reassuring and very supportive of me. And this is what someone needs who has had my kind of background. They need unconditional love, unconditional support, unconditional praise, calmness, consistency, and a core strong makeup. I mean, if they're a broken person, two halves don't make a whole. Okay, in this case, two broken pieces don't put together don't make a whole. All right, just to let you know that. Don't think if you're broken and the person you're going out with is broken, your two broken pieces together aren't going to make a whole. Just letting you know that. It's never going to work. Why it works with my husband is because, as I said, he gives me everything but he doesn't try to fix me, He doesn't try to fix me. He doesn't try to change me. He doesn't try to reparent me. But he's everything, all the qualities that my mother wasn't, with his consistency. I can rely on him. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. My husband walks the talk. You have to walk the talk. You can't say something and then not follow through, especially with borderlines. You need to be consistent. You need to walk the talk. And all the friends I've had and all the therapists I had and everyone else in my life never, ever could walk the talk, ever. They never were consistent. They never were reaffirming and validating. The only person who was reaffirming and validating was my husband. And as a result, I've lasted 40 years with him. So this speaks volumes. 40 years, because when my husband says something, his word is his bond. Your word is your bond, okay? When you say you're going to do something, you need to follow through and do it, okay? Otherwise, no one is going to trust you. My husband has never cheated on me. He's never looked at another woman. He's only praised me. He's only uplifted me. He's only supported everything I've done, no matter how crazy the scheme was. A karaoke channel? You think you're going to make money on that? He never said that to me. I did that karaoke for years, and he never said you can't sing. You're stupid. What do you think you're going to get rich on that? He never did that, Never. It was my decision to change it over to mental health, not his. He didn't say anything. He supported me in all the books I wrote. I've written over 36 books, He supported me even when I talked in these books about in the videos and the books, I talk about, my infidelities, my sex life. I talk about his parents. I talk a lot, And a lot of people would not support that. They would say, I don't want you saying this in your book. I don't want you saying that in your video. You can't say this or you can't say that. My husband never, ever once used the word can't. In all of the 40 years I've known him, never once said can't. Always uplifted me, always reassured me, always praised me, always been consistent with me. And that's what someone like me who was raised with narcissistic parents need. All of those qualities. So, I hope I gave you some light on, if you love someone like me. I mean, we really are lovable. That's what my husband says. And other people have said that too. We just need a little bit more, just a little bit more. And, it can work out. It can. Look at me and my husband. It's worked out 40 years. So it can. So hang in there. If you love someone raised by a narcissistic parent, hang in there, It can work out. And here I am living proof of it. Okay, until next time. Take care.